Okay, we have another question on persecution, in which how can Muslims learn from the behavior of the Muslims at the time of the Prophet when they face difficulties today? Give examples. Now, for one thing, if you're Muslim and if you are strong in your faith and your iman, you will be tested. Allah says, I will, just because you say that I believe, do you think that you are not going to be tested? Everyone will be tested for how strong their iman is. So these difficulties that come in life, they are imminent, they have to come. It's about how you deal with them and how you get through them that matters. And especially new converts. So what do we learn? That never divert from your faith and stay focused all the time. You will face many difficulties. For example, you are tested in different situations in foreign countries with halal meat. You can't find halal meat. Don't surrender your iman up just for a burger or just for, a steak. Sometimes namaz timings, you are tested because of namaz timings. You're in university and it's better to gather your namaz, jama your namaz, rather than just totally skip the namaz. So many students ask me many questions based on their namaz timings. How should they offer them in the university time? That I tell them that do your Zohar and Asr together, jama, and then Maghrib and Isha jama, so that your university time, you don't leave your namaz, you benefit from the, law of, jama kasr. Okay, different difficulties. You're supposed to give difficulties from the present day life. For example, wearing the hijab is a difficulty that Muslims do have to face, women. If you remember, the French government banned the hijab, and then finally they ended up banning the niqab and not the hijab. And sometimes even, countries where it's not banned, some people will just come up and just pull off your hijab. I mean, you have to face many different things. So how should your reaction be? Stay composed and don't act negatively as they acted. I mean, fix yourself and, just try to look over these situations. Then difficulties that arise, airport interrogation. If you go to different countries, sometimes America, you are interrogated just because your name has an Ahmed in it or Usama in it or something like that. Then it's very embarrassing and humiliating when you are told. And sometimes it does not just happen in America. I remember I was in Saudi Arabia and I traveled for Umrah. And I was in a niqab, and out of all of the women, there was a long line. The security women of the Saudi government, they took me to a side and they body searched me. And I was like, did you do that to me just because I'm in a niqab? So sometimes it's not even the non-Muslims who interrogate you. Sometimes your own people interrogate you just because you're in a hijab. And then cartoons, the blasphemic cartoons that are created by different nations and then supported by so many people. What can you do? I keep on telling my students that one thing you must remember: when something like this happens, do not promote it. People start spreading messages, this person has made a cartoon in Norway or wherever, Sweden or whatever. And without even knowing, you as Muslims are propagating, in other words, you're spreading, you're doing dawah of what they did wrong, basically. And their mission, the mission that they want, to achieve, is you're being a part of that, the chain of transmission. So one thing, never share those type of text messages. The Prophet was insulted so many years back, and just because somebody has lesser knowledge does not mean that somebody can defame our Prophet. The people who are intellectual, the people who know, the Prophet well, who have studied the Prophet, they know that he is a very influential man, even today, written in many books. And sometimes justice, difficulties you face in your own homes also, between relations. Sometimes you are maligned for something that you did and not do. You are accused, and how to deal with that. Sometimes your parents are the people who are a problem, or they are accusing you, or they're not talking to you nicely, or you're separated from. These are different difficulties that you have to live your life in, and you should try to manage to get through it in patience and integrity, and also accept it as the will of Allah and a test from Allah.